Hello everyone, this is Hazel Lucia Tarot. I'm Stephanie and I have a reading here for you today about how has your person changed. This is meant to be a love reading, but if you want to take it as a platonic reading as well, you can. After all, this is a reading about how much the person you have on your mind has changed from either the first time you met them or the last time you were with them to the present day. And I have 4 piles here for you today. We have smoky quartz, pile 1, descendant, invitation, pile 2 with selenite, 9th house, exploration. We have pile 3 with the rose quartz heart, Uranus, change, and pile 4 with the shungite heart, moon, perception. So when you're ready, make your choice and I'll be ready for you when you are. Hey there, pile 1. If you chose descendant and the smoky quartz heart, we have your reading here for you today about how much your person has changed or how they've changed. So we're going to do this reading a bit differently from before, and I still have 2 piles, but rather than person A, person B style, this is going to be the past version of your person and the present version of your person, just to really contrast the two and see how it is that they've changed. We're going to start with the card you selected, Descendant. And this is from the Astro Codes Tarot, the Astro Codes Oracle. And these are placements in astrology. The Descendant is the opposite of the Ascendant. So where Ascendant is how you come off, the sign that you would come off to the rest of the world. Descendant is what you are looking for in a partner. Somebody who would complement you. Or complete you. Not that you need anybody else to be complete, but this would be somebody who would really go along well with the energy that you have to offer. This could also be the kind of energy or sign that you are naturally attracted to. So we have a descendant as a connecting energy card, and I chose another Astro Codes card to better describe this. And we have oh gosh, how do I pronounce this? Imam Kole, root. So we have invitation and root. Also 3738. These are numbers that follow each other. Both of you could be this age, or this could be the age that your person is. Maybe the last time you saw them was exactly a year ago, because it's one number apart, or they may have been 37 and now they're 38. Take that if it resonates. If it doesn't, leave it. But let's start with their past energy. We have gossip. Light attributes awakens considerations for the feelings of others, honoring trust. Shadow attributes thrives on the power of passing on private or secret information, betraying confidences. And let's do more of their past. We have Sub Rosa, hidden in plain sight, mysteries, learning and teaching. And determination. Now their current energy, you could see it as current or possibly future if you have not met with them yet, by the way. We have the Holy Grail, stop the endless searching, inner quest, consciousness, and victim. Light attribute prevents you from letting yourself be victimized or victimizing others. Shadow attributes playing the victim for positive feedback in the form of pity, inability to maintain personal boundaries. Okay, pile 1. So whoever this person is, if you know what your ascendant sign is, they may have a lot of important placements on your descendant or near it, or even just the 7th house, since that's where the descendant begins. If you know what your ascendant is, it's usually just the opposite signs. So if your ascendant is an Aries, theirs will be a Libra. If you're a Taurus, theirs will be a Scorpio, so on and so forth. And I'm getting, this is somebody you were just really drawn to, regardless of the descendant. This is just somebody who you found a lot of good qualities in. Maybe they did compliment you very well. And I mean compliment as in complete, not compliment as in, giving you compliments. Though they could have done that as well. With the root here, I feel like you guys go bit way back. So I'm not sure if this was possibly somebody you've known since childhood or at the very least school. But I'm also getting perhaps workplace, especially if the place where you work is somewhere where you have been for a very long time. I'm talking like maybe 5 or more years. Especially if you are in your 30s, maybe this is somebody you've known for quite a while. But let's look at their past energy. Your person, I do feel like they have had a tendency to gossip, but I don't see gossip as a bad thing. Sometimes we get some of our best intuitive information through gossip, like through the things you were not meant to know but somehow was slipped out, or through somebody who wanted you to know something about somebody as a way of making sure you look out for yourself. So I don't consider gossip to be negative all the time. It can actually be beneficial to us if somebody is letting you know, hey, somebody is out there trying to bring you down or put you in a bad light. Especially with determination here, I do feel like this is a workplace situation. I feel like in the past, either you and this person would gossip a lot and this would be the way you bonded, or you found out something about them that made them endearing to you through gossip. Like maybe they hide their emotions very well, or they just hide how they're feeling. They don't make much known about themselves, and then somebody just came along and said, hey, did you know this person actually kind of has a thing for you? And they only found that out because maybe it slipped, or they only expressed it to them. I don't know, something to that, because I'm not getting much negativity from the gossip here. With Sub Rosa, hidden in plain sight, mysteries, learning and teaching, I feel like they kind of kept out of your way, or were trying to hide themselves from you. But there's still that sense of determination. I'm feeling that this might have been like a secret crush. Like they had a secret crush on you. And they kind of didn't know what to do. With determination, they may have had their sights set on something else, so you weren't at the forefront of what they wanted at the moment. Especially with Descendant here, I'm just getting the feeling that you two were very drawn to each other. The opposite could also be true, by the way. You could be on their descendants. So whatever it is that you are and do, they just absolutely love that about you, and they were just drawn like a magnet to you. It could be a Scorpio descendant. Ascendant. So their descendant would be Taurus, and you could be a Taurus. Just because this character over here kind of looks like a Taurus with the horns. I don't know if you can see that, but I'm getting that as well. So whoever your person is, I feel like in the past, they were very much hidden, and it was very much hush-hush, kept secret. For whatever reason this may be, I'm not sure. With this, I get the sense that they were also just focusing on other things. They weren't focusing on relationships. They were not focusing on building connections. They were focusing on their bag. Just because this card is very golden, and determination makes me think of going up in rank. So maybe they were trying to get promotions. Maybe they were trying to really just advance their career for whatever reason. So a relationship would not have been beneficial for them at the time, or at the very least, they couldn't have given you the time that you deserved, the time and attention you deserved and needed. I am going to read a little bit from the book about Imam Kole, just because that's not something I really look for in astrology when I'm doing my my readings. So the book says, imagine your spine extends down into the earth like a taproot, the strong central root under a tree through the earth to a point on the sun's path below. Latin for bottom of the sky, Imam Kole, points to the memories and experiences that fed your first roots, your early home life, your family's traditions, and your biological and emotional heritage. So, two things. Either you have known them for quite a while, and this is somebody you almost kind of grew along with. not necessarily grow up, but if, let's say, you were in the same career, you kind of grew with them in the company. So I'm getting that. I'm also getting that maybe perhaps they wanted to set roots as well. Or maybe you are looking to set roots. Maybe you're both coming together so that you can set roots, or that you're looking for it. I'm also getting that maybe you had a very similar upbringing and maybe this is what brought you together. Or because I get the feeling that maybe they didn't really speak to you. Maybe once they come back on the scene, into your life, whatever you want to say, you'll realize that you actually had very similar upbringings. And this is what's really going to draw you together, because you kind of understand that. I feel like people with very similar upbringings tend to have some of the deepest bonds just because they understand each other. But with the current energy, victim, they may have come out of something that really traumatized them and is forcing them to be very honest about the victimhood that they went through. I don't get that they're playing the victim. It's more like maybe perhaps they're not used to being a victim. I don't think that they're used to being done dirty, essentially. And being in this energy has really brought them closer to their consciousness. I feel like it may have pushed them a little bit into their spiritual awakening, especially here with the Holy Grail and the inner quest. And it's almost like they stopped. It says stop the endless searching. Maybe they finally have been able to find that which they know they want. I'm just getting that from Imam Kolai, even though that's not really. I'm just getting the sense of knowing what it is they want, because your person definitely gives me that energy that they know what they want, but the circumstances under which they are in now is only helping to push them into that. Because I don't get the sense, even though these tend to be cards that you would perceive to be very negative, a gossip and a victim, I get that they're not used to this kind of energy. I feel like they're very used to being large and in charge. So when it comes to things like communication, they may not be able to determine the differences between gossip and communication. Perhaps this is something that maybe they just grew up not understanding. And likewise, in being a victim, they refuse to see themselves as a victim, but they very much are. It's almost like maybe they're coming back from a situation where they were mistreated, and they kind of hate that. I feel like they're very prideful because I'm having a hard time trying to marry this with the energy that I'm feeling, because this is somebody who knows what they want. This is somebody who knows what they're doing. Like, even looking at these individuals here, they're just very confident in their ability to bring down their power, to call in the light, to manifest. So to see these energies up here, it's just not resonating as much with how they actually are, which is very interesting. But perhaps this is something you are seeing in them, and that they cannot hide. After all, they are very much hidden in plain sight. I feel like they're used to hiding a lot. As I said before, they're not used to expressing a lot. But perhaps this is something you are seeing in them through your own window of perception, especially if they are if their sign, if they happen to be on your descendant or near it. We're just naturally drawn to these people, and when we're naturally drawn to people, I think we pay a little bit more attention to them than everybody else. But they have a lovely soul regardless of what their current circumstances are. I feel like these are really the circumstances they were given, but they themselves are actually rather powerful, either in their line of work or just as people, or they give off that sense of power. But let's move on to the tarot to see what else, how else your person has changed, and how it's going to affect you, and how you two will be interacting, if at all. Yeah, it's a weird combination of being secretive and powerful. They might be a manager. I feel like they have to have a facade sometimes of not indifference, but not being emotionally compromised to the people who work below them. But at the same time, you guys started at this. Maybe you started at the same company at the same time, but in different levels or different positions, or in different departments that work differently. All right, so let's get some tarot for my beautiful pile one. We have 3 of Swords, 8 of Wands, 6 of Cups, Prince of Cups, and 10 of Pentacles. That's such a lovely story, by the way. I'm not sure if you... Well, let me get clarifiers before I go on. But, yeah. To clarify the 3 of Swords, 9 of Swords. To clarify 8 of Wands. The Star. To clarify 6 of Cups. King of Wands in reverse. This is interesting because I don't do reversals, but because this one came out reverse, I'm going to keep it. I feel like this helps explain your person more. 8 of Cups and 2 of Cups. Wow. So just some recurring numbers. We have 8 twice. We have... That's about it. Maybe 8's an important number for you. All right, so yeah, there's definitely something that let them down, this heartbreak. It may have been a past relationship, but it may also be work in general, just because I was talking about it a lot in the oracles, but something really let them down, and they are not used to being in this agonizing energy with the 9 of Swords here. This is anxiety, this is cruelty. Wherever it is that they were between the time that you two separated, it feels like it wasn't working out for them, whatever the case may have been. And I think they were very aware of it, and they quickly got out of it with the 8 of Wands here. With the Star, I feel like they're able to manifest very quickly. If they see themselves in a situation that they do not like, that they're not okay with, they're able to call upon their wishing star and get themselves out of it, essentially. That's very interesting. They may be a little bit more powerful than they let on, but at the same time, they can't control everything, because otherwise I don't think they would be going through the things that they are going through, or that they went through, that made them suffer so much. With the 6 of Cups and the King of Wands, the 6 of Cups is a card of give and take emotionally. So I do feel like you guys will be connecting more so once they come back around. And it'll be very playful. It'll be very innocent. This is definitely a friendship card of give and take. So it's not a relationship where one person takes more than the other and the other one is, left with nothing. That's not the case at all. There's going to be a real give and take, and it's going to cost him bringing down his barriers, taking himself, I don't know why I'm saying, taking themselves down a notch. I say him because this is the King of Wands. When the King of Wands is upright, this is confidence. This is absolute control. This is somebody that's very powerful, knows what they are doing, and is able to, like I said, just manifest. They're a lot more powerful than they let on. But reversed, I get the feeling that this was a blow to their ego, whatever it was that they came back from. And maybe they needed that. Maybe they needed it to really stop being so secretive and to stop keeping everything internalized in order for them to express themselves, so that they can actually work through their problems a lot more fully, a lot better. Maybe they even kept things from their friends, and if their friends had known the things that they were going through, they would have helped them out a lot more. Maybe you were one of these friends as well. If you had known that they were going to go through this, or if they had come and asked for your advice, you would have helped them. But they didn't, so now they know. And I think in knowing this, you're going to develop a very beautiful friendship. The Prince of Cups is usually somebody who comes very openly with love. But then we also have the 8 of Cups here, and it's actually the same character, which is very interesting. So I feel, I'm reading this several ways. If this was a relationship that they left, it is still on their mind. It left them very heavy, but it did not break their heart. Or, sorry, it did not completely break their heart. It shattered it, it fractured it, but they've come back better and with a lot more playful too, because you see the dolphin here. Dolphins make me think of playfulness and happiness. So they come back with even more love to offer and give. I'm also feeling that the Eight of Cups can be walking away from a draining situation. So if it was work, again, they leave they leave that behind and they come back to wherever it is that they were at, with a lot more zest for life, with a lot more gratitude for the things that they had. And the way I'm seeing this for some reason is somebody left a certain line of work and they got promoted, or they went to a different maybe office or something. But this could also be promotions, because I have seen when people get promoted, they get the workload and they realize it's awful compared to what they are making and it's not worth their mental health. So they step back down and they realize that they're okay there, or they leave that and they find a better job. So that's why when I say come back, that's what I mean. Or it could be they went on to another relationship and then they come back as well. But I'm not getting that as much for some reason, just because this is the blossoming of somebody who kind of kept their guard very hardened, and it's just flourishing, because I'm seeing that with all these little lotuses. As to where here we have clouds kind of having their head up in the sky, kind of not grounded. Here we have all this water, all the emotion, and the lotuses. A lotus grows basically from the very deep depths of the water where there's like garbage and stuff, and it becomes this beautiful bloom. So it's a very symbolic flower of not letting your sullied past, make you not allowing to make you ugly, essentially, because you're a beautiful flower that deserves to bloom. It's the Ten of Pentacles and the Two of Cups. They're gonna find what they want, and I get the sense this very much might be with you. Ten of Pentacles is success, it's financial stability, or just stability in general. It's also joy. Not as much as the Ten of Cups, but definitely something very long-lasting. And also just look how bright it is. Here we have like all this darkness, the blue, the green, and then we come into this sunlight. It's almost like there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and the Two of Cups confirms this with this. This is my favorite card in this entire deck. It is just so beautiful with the full moon and these two people in a very sweet embrace. So I really do get the feeling that they were very much into you and they didn't get a chance with you before. When they come back around, they're not going to miss that opportunity if that opportunity shows itself. And that's very lovely, because I feel like you could have a very stable unionship with this person. Again, that's only if this is a love reading. It doesn't necessarily have to be that way. It could also just be a long-lasting friendship. So let's move on to your advice cards. We have... I'm going to be using the Creative Love Oracle, but again, if it's not a love connection, just take what resonates from it in the platonic way. And I will let you know how it can be taken platonically. So, we have message. You are soon going to receive a message from someone special. This card also says that clear communication is needed. Check your message folders. So yeah, you'll be hearing from them, possibly directly. I feel like in the past they may have not contacted you directly before. Or again, because of the gossip, you may have had to hear everything about them through the grapevine or through secondary sources. A friend of a friend, or maybe even their social media, or like a group, email, group text, something along those lines. We also have first quarter moon in Sagittarius. Believe in your good luck. This could be taking place during a first quarter moon in Sagittarius. But something tells me luck also plays a huge role in this. You could also be a Sagittarius, of course. They or you. I'm also thinking... trying to think when the first quarter moon in Sagittarius was, because it's a specific time during the year, but I don't have an ephemeris on me, so and I haven't memorized it either. I just know ones like mine, but just whenever the moon is in Sagittarius is fine. And if you can look up when the first quarter went in Sagittarius, if you can Google that and find the actual time for that in the year, that might also be an important time. In fact, if you want to leave it in the comments below, go ahead and let me know and I will be eternally grateful. And one last card. Hidden knowledge, Akashic records, silent understanding. Okay, so we get it. Your person is a strong silent type, and something tells me it's not. I don't think this will change much, except when it comes to you. They may open themselves up a lot more to you, but they're a very private person and they're going to stay that way. But they will learn to open up whenever it matters, whenever it's important. And if you're important to them, of course, they're going to open up to you. Another way I'm taking this is they're opening themselves up to the mysteries of the universe. And if so, well, they've got you to help them with that. After all, you are here on this tarot channel. So clearly you are open to the mysteries of the universe as well. And that is all I have for you today, Pile 1. Thank you so much for letting me read for you and for letting me read your person's energy. If any of this resonated, please let me know in the comments and feel free to like and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next reading. Bye. Hello there, Pile 2. If you chose the 9th house exploration and the selenite heart, we have your reading here today about how your person has changed. So we're going to start with some oracles to get a little bit of the energy check on your person, but rather than person A, person B style, we are going to have your person's past energy and their current or future energy, depending on the situation. But let's start with the 9th house here of exploration. This is actually one of my favorite houses. This will be the house of expansion as well, of learning, of spirituality, of luck. It's associated with Sagittarius, and anywhere where you expand, either spiritually, emotionally, or mentally, even physically, if you're thinking of traveling. This could be somebody that travels a lot, or you could travel a lot as well. And in certain astrological theories, this is also considered the house of the second spouse, where your 7th house would be your first spouse or the traditional spouse. The 9th would be the person you seek after already having had an established marriage. Like, this would be a much more liberating person in your life. And maybe this person to you is like that as well. Maybe you liberate them or they liberate you. I feel like you have a lot of fun together, because I'm also associating the 9th house with Jupiter energy and Sagittarius, and all of that leads to just having a lot of fun and a lot of partying, I feel like, or even just growing and learning through them. I do have another astro card as a connecting energy. We have solar flares activate. So yeah, they really light you up. Or you light them up. Take whichever resonates more. But let's look at their past energy. We have Goddess, light attribute, the feminine, expressed through wisdom, nature, life force, and sensuality. Shadow attribute, exploitation of the female nature and form. The child within, inner mother, innocence, gentleness, tenderness, and surrender. And their current energy would be damsel. Light attributes, understanding the nature of healthy romance, inspires you to rely on yourself. Shadow attributes, waiting for night to provide for you, seduction by romantic illusion. The rose garden, innocence, forgiveness, being gentle with yourself, and movement. Okay, so regardless of their gender or what they identify as, it's interesting that I feel like they've had to downplay the love vibe that this person gave off. But let's start with the past energy. So I feel like your person in the past was really very much in that super sensual energy where they very much knew their worth, and probably still do. But I'm looking a little bit at the shadow attribute where they kind of exploited the power that they have. This could have meant using their body to get whatever they want, or using their charms to manipulate people in a way. And I'm not seeing that as a bad thing, but I feel like at some point it got them in trouble here with surrender, I'm getting that in using this energy manipulation tactic, they had to give up a lot, or it cost them a lot somehow with the child within. Maybe this was something that they inherited or learned from their parents, their mother specifically. It's much like, well, my mother was this way, so I'm being this way as well. And maybe they realized that it just did not work for them. So they had to give this up. There was a sense of powerlessness in this somehow, which is very interesting, because you would think that being in a goddess energy would give you power, and maybe that's what they thought too. But the truth is, it wasn't working for them. Maybe it was just too much to keep up with. Being, if for example they were like the type of beauty queen who was just always doing their makeup, always getting their nails done, hair done, just everything had to be perfect to a T, and they found that exhausting at some point. And again, this could have been something that was instilled within them since birth. Like maybe they had a mother who was very much always forcing them, or really, really highly encouraging them to be in a specific kind of light. Like it's like you always have to have your makeup done, like make sure you're always wearing this and that. I'm thinking like of a pageant mom who like pushes her kid to do all this very showy stuff that isn't very genuine. Like I don't think a lot of people are very much the pageant person that they present themselves to be. So that grew tiring, is what I'm getting, or it just got to be way too much, especially with the ninth house. The ninth house likes to let loose and have fun. And I'm not saying you can't have fun with that, with, you know, all the makeup and the pageantry that goes on with this, but at some point they had to understand that it was not their true selves. There is something here that just wasn't as authentic. So their current energy, they've toned it down. They're still very much very in their feminine, or regardless of gender, in that playful, beautiful energy. But here it's more of allowing themselves to be soft, allowing themselves to maybe soften the makeup, maybe wear clothing that's a lot more comfortable but still beautiful, and still, you know, maybe not as seductive but still very much beautiful and pretty. Like there's power in a very subtle type of seduction, in that subtle type of beauty. And again, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with this past, with the other type, the more voluptuous, sexy, very in your face siren type of energy. There's nothing wrong with that, but this, your person in particular, found it more empowering to maybe tone it down. Maybe they're just naturally very beautiful. I'm thinking of somebody who's just very naturally curvy and voluptuous. Like they can't help that they look like that. So when they played that up, it was just a bit much. So when they started dressing more innocently, they found power in that very quite subtle seduction. Like you're still radiating those very sensual vibes without having to show too much skin or wear as much makeup, or, you know, wearing high heels all day, every day. Because I do know people like that, and I don't know how they do it. You can be just as easily sexy in flats. That's the energy I am getting from this person. Again, I'm not here to shame any type of way people dress or what they choose to consider, you know, attractive, or what they use to attract. This is just this person individually, because I think all types of beauty are wonderful when people are being their true authentic selves. And in this case, they really did have to look for their authentic self. With the rose garden, innocence, forgiveness, be gentle with yourself, I think they're having to really come to terms with the fact of the kind of person they used to be. Maybe they are aware that they were using their body to get certain things, or that they were using their charms to get certain things and manipulate people. And I think they just realized that they didn't know any better. This was just what they were taught growing up. Whether it is from their mother, or it could be their culture, their society, what have you. They're realizing that there's power in innocence. Maybe their innocence was taken from them very young, or they didn't have any of that. So in shifting the way they go about attracting people, they were able to regain some sense of control and some of that sense of innocence. Like, it's very interesting. It's usually the other way around. You see like a very innocent person blossom into like this, you know, seductress type person. But here we're having the opposite effect. And it's very interesting. This isn't the reading I was expecting, honestly, or the kind of individual I would expect. But maybe somebody was a lot more wild in their youth or in their old days, and when they come back, you see that they've changed into a much more calm person. I mean, they're still very capable of being wild and being sexy and whatever, but it's almost like they've grown up, like their sensuality has grown up along with them. With the movement card, yeah, they want to go places, and I think they realized that in leaving behind these patterns and these tendencies that they had, they're able to get further. Like, I mean, it's green. I'm thinking of green light as in the car can go. So, yeah, they're planning ahead because they're very good at strategizing, believe it or not. I'm getting that with the 9th house and movement. They're actually a lot smarter than they let on. Just some numbers of 47 and 17. So there could be a 30-year gap from the last time you saw this person. They may have been 17 when they really got into this energy. And then as they age, they're getting more into this energy. I'm not sure which one applies. I really hope. Yeah, I just feel like they toned down a lot of what they used to be. Maybe they just used to be a little bit of a player in the past, and now it's like they want to just dedicate. They want to be a one-person person. You know, they're just throwing all of their attention onto one person as opposed to their past self, who may have had a lot of people on hold. Just like all these messages. I'm getting somebody who messages multiple people at a time, or is seeing multiple people at a time, and now it's like I'm only going to focus on, first of all, myself, and then just one other person who really, really matches my energy, is what I'm getting from your person, pile 2. So with that, let's get into the tarot, because I'm not getting much from you. This may just be somebody you're observing, and I do get the sense that this may be a friend more than a romantic interest, but if it is a romantic interest, of course, this also makes sense. I think it depends. Could also be you. I've noticed sometimes when I click these readings in other channels, not mine, obviously, but I'll click something looking for, I don't know, insight on some people, and it ends up sounding an awful lot like me. So if you see yourself in this reading, that's okay, pile 2. We love to have you here. And there are 3 other piles. But let's move on to the tarot. We have the Sun and Moon Tarot. We have the Emperor. Okay, these are upside down. The Emperor, the Hanged Man, 7 of Cups, Queen of Swords, the Universe, 9 of Wands, the Fool. Okay, that one did come out reversed. 2 of Wands, 8 of Pentacles, and the Star. That one also came out reversed. Okay. So this person is really, really wanting to come into their Emperor energy. I do feel like there was an overwhelming amount of feminine energy. Again, this has nothing to do with the gender, but this is very much in that passive energy, allowing people to approach them, allowing people to... The passive energy is allowing the universe to take its effect on you, as opposed to you taking your effect on the universe. So they allowed stuff to happen to them. Very passive, very much a come to me kind of energy, as opposed to me coming to you. So they're really trying to step into their masculine Emperor energies with the Hangman here and the Emperor. They want to kind of flip this, and it's interesting. I feel like they felt the need to tone down the femininity in order to step into the masculine, which sometimes is what you have to do in order to balance it out. But you can be feminine and still very much be in power in that Emperor energy, in that masculine energy, while being feminine. With the 7 of Cups and the Queen of Swords here, I'm getting that they have learned so much from their past, from all the mistakes that they've done in the past. And this may include you, pile 2. I feel like they may have led you on, if this is a romantic interest, that they may have led you on, or that there were a lot of false promises, or promises broken, or a lot of false starts is what I meant to say. But they have learned better, and they've learned to be more logical about things rather than just promising you the world, or, you know, being down for anything. They're more like, when you make plans with this person, they're going to be a lot more solid, a lot more concrete, because they realize that just allowing things to happen and just, you know, it wasn't working out for them, and it wasn't fair to themselves and the people around them. With the universe and the 9 of Wands, they're really fighting for their place in the world. I feel like they're really coming into their own. There's a lot of major arcana cards here, so this connection, if it's meant to be, or if it's a friendship, it's going to be very transformative. Because I feel like they have wronged you. And we'll learn more about this as we go, but they're really fighting for their place in the universe, and I think they're coming to terms with the things they have done. We did talk about forgiveness. In fact, it's still over here. The forgiveness in the Rose Garden card. They're on a mission to right their wrongs, essentially. And you may be one of the wrongs that they need to right, pile 2. With the Fool here and the 2 of Wands, the Fool is upright, is somebody who is going very carefree into the world, but when it's upside down, they're a little bit less carefree, and they're very much going onto this new path, but with a plan and with a lot more caution, so that they don't fall into this water full of alligators. And they're very much learning how to care more, essentially, about the things that they do and how they affect others. Especially with the 2 of Wands here, you just have these 2 characters that are looking forward, so that they do not burn themselves, so to speak. With the Star here and the 8 of Pentacles, they may be fighting really hard. They may be finding it hard to find hope in this situation. The Star upright is hope, but reversed here, I'm getting that this whole self-forgiveness thing is a lot harder than they thought. They're also reevaluating karma, because I associate 8 of Pentacles with karma. It's a reap what you sow card, and they're having a hard time coming to terms with the things that they've done. It's almost, if they are religious, they think they're very sinful and that they may end up going to hell, something along those lines. And maybe they're doing this complete 180 in order to avoid that. But the truth is, and I have a feeling, I have the sense that they will learn this through you, pile 2. It's just not an accurate perception of how life works. Yes, forgive yourself for the wrong things you've done in your life, and for the past that maybe was not the healthiest, especially if you had a very toxic upbringing or views on the world. But like, every day is a new day, and the morals we're given by the outside world, I feel, just don't make much sense. They're very biased, and they very much favor a certain type of person or a certain type of people, especially because of all the feminine energy in the oracles. I do get the sense that if this is a woman, then she's probably had the patriarchy talk to her in certain ways that just were not beneficial to her as a person, or to them as a person. And I think really helping your person to understand this and to help them undo this, because I do get the feeling you'll be a key person in their life to help them understand this. They'll know that you forgive yourself first and everything else falls into place. I just feel such a heavy burden, like both within my heart and on my back. So maybe this is where they're carrying that energy. If you did identify as the person that you were trying to get a reading for, and this is you, I'm letting you know that your energy is in the heart and in the back, and really just learning to love yourself and accept it and forgive everything you've done in the past will help a lot. a lot, and it will help turn this star upside down, because this is what we want. We want to hold on to that hope. We want to hold on to the brightness. Yeah, I'm sending your person a lot of love, pile 2, and for you as well. But let's move on to the advice cards just to see anything else that would help with this person. Maybe how you two come together, if anything. So I'm going to be using the Creative Love Oracle, even though this is optionally a love reading. I will let you know the platonic way to read the card, if it is something very past life relationships. Your souls know each other from previous lifetimes, and you have been with this person together before. This is an instant attraction and recognition on a soul level. So yeah, you definitely have had past lives together. Again, it doesn't have to be romantic. You could have just seen like a soul friend in this person. Or conversely, you may be friends now, and in a past life, maybe you were in a romantic relationship. But regardless, there was a soul attraction. That means when you meet somebody and you just vibe with them and you understand them completely and you feel like you've known them forever. I've had friends like this where it's instantaneously, I just kind of knew a lot about them, or just, you know, the love was there right away because you just knew. And these are very interesting because there's always a deep friendship here. There's always a deep understanding and a deep connection. So it's no surprise that this person comes to you when it comes to helping them through whatever it is in their past that they want to reconcile with in their present or future. We also have the Priestess of Light Oracle. And we have Grateful Optimism, Joyous Views of the Future. I feel like this is what your person wants to be, or how you perceive your person being in the future as well, because we're not meant to be suffering and wallowing in self-pity. It's funny, she looks like the Damsel card. Maybe this is just how your person wants to be, someone who is sweet and innocent and just full of love and joy. And then, for their third card, we have Woman in Scorpio, breathe through the tension. Yeah, there's a lot of tension here, and I'm not sure what the nature of this relationship is, but there's definitely tension that needs to be broken. And it will be. I feel like it's going to be some very uncomfortable conversations, some heavy conversations, or revelations as well. Either of you could be in Scorpio. I do feel like the person here could have had planets in Scorpio, or is a Scorpio, just because I was getting those vibes. And Scorpios are kind of known for, like, at least the ones I know, being one way completely and then doing a major shift and being another way completely. They can do transformations like nobody else. It's that phoenix energy. Something has to die in order for something else to rise. This could be like the person who was like just the absolutely wimpy, tiny child, and as they get older or the next time you see them, they're just buff, muscular, and super strong. This could also be your person as well. Somebody who used to be very quiet and shy, and then suddenly they're very confident and they speak very loudly or very clearly. So there's some type of energy there. This could also be you. Maybe you are a Scorpio and you have a very transformative quality about you, and this is why they seek you out for your help, for your advice, or for your love in general. So this is all I have for you today, Pile 2. Thank you for clicking on this reading, and if any of this resonated, let me know. Feel free to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next reading. Bye! Hello there, Pile 3. If you chose the Rose Quartz Heart and the Uranus card, we have your reading here for you today. We're going to start with some oracles to see the energy of your person and how they've changed. But instead of person A, person B, we're going to be having your person's past energy and their current or future energy, depending on the situation. And then we're going to have connecting cards here. When we're going to start with Uranus, which is the planet of change, ingenuity, disruption, anything that's Aquarian vibe, because this is the planet that it rules. Or yeah, Uranus is ruled by Aquarius is ruled by Uranus. Sorry. A lot of hesitancy right off the bat. So I don't know. Let's just go on. I have another Astro Codes card to clarify this one. We have Venus, beloved. So it's possible that we could have a Venus and Uranus conjunct here, either in your person or yourself, or your Uranus and Venus are aspected. And when this happens, this is loving the quirks in people, but this is also finding a very refreshing and unique relationship. It could also be that they're kind of amused because of how unique they are to you. And also it could start very suddenly. Uranus is, like I said, the planet of disruption or unexpected events. Let's not say disruption, but it can be like this relationship started off kind of out of nowhere and very abruptly, and maybe even at like not the best timing. But for numbers, we have 25 and 21. These could be years that are significant for you. You could be 25 or 21, or there could be a 4-year time gap between the last time you saw your person and now, or even an age gap, because with Uranus, there's always Uranus and Venus are when aspected, they do tend to have age gap differences. There's something about, I'm not sure why. I think because Uranus is a planet of time. So maybe there's an age gap, or it could just be the gap between the time that you two saw each other last. So let's start with your person's past energy. We have child, divine, innocence, purity, and redemption suggests a special connection with the divine. Shadow attribute, an inability to defend oneself against negative forces. We have breathing rose, and let me cover that up just in case they decide that it's not appropriate. The breathing rose, heart healing, emotions, connection, time, eases, and trust. And in the future, or your current energy or future, maybe it is future. Companion, light attributes, loyalty, tenacity, and unselfishness. Shadow attributes, betrayal by misusing confidences, loss of personal identity. The grandmother, remember your roots, perspective, trust the weavings, and peace. Lots of lovely energy here, pile 3. This is very interesting. So let's start with the past. They do not have to have been a child the last time you saw them, but I'm getting more that they have a very unique innocence, or that they were very new to wherever it is that they were, whether this was having a relationship or maybe wherever it is that you saw them, whether that was school, whether that was work, or just your friend circle. There was very much a childlike attribute to them. But with divine, because there's several child cards, with divine, it was more like they were an old soul, and you saw that right away. They could also just have looked very young for their age. So whenever they spoke and started speaking of things that maybe went over your head because they had a lot more experience, this was very something that made them stand out. So, but in this case, I really do feel like they're just an old soul, and they really left a mark on you because of how different they were. Maybe they've been divinely guided their entire life. So as a child, they seemed very divine, and as they got older, they just kind of grew into this old soul they have. You could have grown up with them as well. If the childhood love thing kind of resonates, they could have been a childhood love. And maybe there was like a 4-year gap between you two. So at some point, you probably did just see them as a child. You were like, whatever. But as you got older and became of ages where you can actually be attracted to each other. I'm not saying this is grooming. This is more like maybe a friend's sibling or something like that, where you had to see them grow up, and then once you became adults, you realized, we kind of like each other. It's that kind of situation. So don't mistake what I'm taking as for an inappropriate age gap, even though I did bring that up. Maybe at the time, maybe like in your teens, it would have been like, say, a 16-year-old with a 20-year-old. At that time, it may have been, and at some point, I think maybe somebody told you this, and it's like, hey, this doesn't seem right because they're already in their 20s and you're still in high school. So if that resonates, take it. If not, you know, we can move on with, they were just very divine-like. The breathing rose here, heart healing, emotions connection. I feel like your person has had to go through a lot of internal healing. Whatever it is that they had, this could have been something that they had to have dealt with in their childhood, or they could have gone through certain trauma that maybe you weren't aware of the last time you saw them. Maybe they went into this dark period where they didn't really see anybody that they knew, and this included you. So they really had to heal, and they did a lot of work on themselves. With trust, I just get the sense that they were learning to trust the universe and learning to trust themselves, because whatever it is that they were going through really made them shake that trust, either in the divine, in their beliefs, or even in just the universe. Like maybe they were dealt something very unfortunate and it shook up everything about them. Maybe their trust in you also got shaken for a while there. But let's move on to the current energy. They may also want to really brush over this once they see you again. Maybe they really just want to catch up on how you've been doing. But anyway, let's move on to the current and future energy. With companion here, you're going to rekindle this friendship. At the very least, it's going to start as a friendship. I know that for sure, because there's a lot of love between you and your person. I'm already feeling that. It's more like this is the first pile where I'm actually feeling something from this person towards you, but they feel very relaxed around you. They feel very at home with you. So you will definitely rekindle this friendship. And you may be companions for some time. They get a sense of peace around you, or they may be making their peace with you if there was anything in the past that was very, I don't know, if there were any wrongs made between you and your person. With the grandmothers here, you may know each other through your grandmothers, or maybe you guys would meet at somebody's grandmother's house. Or maybe they get a message of you through their grandmother. I've said this before, but my grandmother on my mom's side, she's very much one who kind of likes to push, cute guys towards her granddaughters. You're like, oh, look at that guy, doesn't he look cute? Like maybe this was their grandmother as well whenever you would be around, or vice versa. Maybe when this person was around, your grandmother would be like, isn't that person cute? Like, and you just be like, stop, you're just a friend or whatever. Or, they're just this kid from down the road. So maybe something like that was what was going on. And if their grandmother has passed away, they may be coming in their dreams as well to let them know, hey, I feel really good about this person. You should reach out to them, or you should try to connect with them. Because there's just such a lovely light energy coming in right now. And it really does give me that childhood nostalgia if you two are people that grew up together, or were like in that same group of people that grew up together. Again, the age gap is nothing crazy. It's not like grooming, because I know that there's a big thing about that nowadays, where you want to make sure people are being properly taken care of. But I'm not getting that feeling at all. I'm getting more like, you would have gone to high school together, or you would have been somebody's friend's sibling that just happened to be slightly older. And I do feel if it is an unexpected relationship, it could have been like people did not see that coming. It's like maybe when you two were younger, you would argue a lot, or you just not get, or you were just so different, but people saw you two grow up, and it's like, whoa, I didn't think this person would get with this person. It's that kind of situation. I don't know, but it's very peaceful. Maybe you will feel this when you meet your person again. Maybe you'll feel just all this lovely warm energy. I'm getting 6 of Cups energy, so we'll see if that shows up in the tarot. A lot of Cups energy, also the 10 of Cups. But let's go on to the tarot to see how much your person has changed. I feel like the only real change your person has had is peace with their whatever it was that they were healing from, and possibly maybe one of their grandparents passed away and maybe you knew this grandparent, and maybe this is how this connection rekindles. Like maybe they're reaching out to let you know that somebody is going through something. Ooh, I got that on cards. Okay, we have the Sun and Moon Tarot, my lovely, beautiful pile 3. We have Justice. We got 2. And they're reversed. They're not meant to be reversed. The Empress and the 7 of Pentacles. Interesting. We have the King of Wands, the Ace of Cups, and one more. It's supposed to be 5. The Devil. To clarify Justice, we have 9 of Wands. To clarify the Empress and the 7 of Pentacles, we have the Chariot. To clarify the King of Wands, the 9 of Swords in reverse. Okay, that one was reversed. And to clarify the Ace of Cups, the Queen of Cups. To clarify the Devil, 10 of Cups. Okay, yes, I like this. Let's start with so you guys have quite a bit of history, and that's not surprising, especially if it is somebody you've known since childhood. But with Justice, I do get the feeling if they reach out to you, it will be because of something big that happened. It could also be a legal matter. It could also be somebody maybe needing a witness for something, or what's it called? I don't know any legal verbiage, but I feel like they may need your help with something from the past, especially with the 9 of Wands here. They're fighting for something. They're struggling with something. So it could be a legal matter. It could have been somebody being arrested or something like that. It could also just be maybe somebody is having trouble with things going on in the neighborhood. Yeah, it's very interesting. So maybe there's that to look forward to. There's also the Empress and the 7 of Pentacles here. I'm getting a pregnancy pretty strongly, mostly because she's pregnant, but also the 7 of Pentacles is work. It's putting work into something, and here it's to really reap the fruits of your labor. So I'm getting pregnancy, but with failure here, it could also have been a miscarriage. But something about pregnancy with the Chariot, this could have happened very fast. This could have been the thing that your person was healing from if they are somebody who's able to get pregnant. This could be something that they that really impacted them. Maybe they miscarried and have had to heal from that, especially with the Chariot here, moving on, moving forward, moving fast as well. There might be a separation going on as well. And this could be from the person that they were pregnant with, or that got them pregnant, sorry. It's very interesting. It's just a lot going on. And maybe your person or you will feel overwhelmed whenever you find this out as well. But moving on with the King of Wands and the 9 of Swords, they're lacking that confidence. They're lacking that sense of control. With the 9 of Swords here, it's anxiety, it's cruelty, it's just, again, they're dealing with a lot mentally and even emotionally. But with the King of Wands, it's almost like they're really looking for somebody to help them, because they really want to come into this King of Wands energy to know exactly what it is to do. You may be that King of Wands for them, pile 3. Or you could be seeing them really taking charge of their life as well, after having gone through whatever legal matters they're going through, whatever hardships they have had to go through. With the Ace of Cups and the Queen of Cups here, it's beautiful. It's almost like at some point they really learn to love themselves and to break out of whatever it was that was holding them back. There's just a lot of love here, an outpouring of love. I feel like whatever I was feeling within the oracles, that sense of nostalgia, that, you know, that almost that puppy love kind of feeling, like, or teenage love, something like that, or crush, really, if nothing ever got off the ground. It's helping reignite them and really find ways to nurture themselves. And maybe this is exactly what they needed after having come through so much, after having gone through maybe a failed relationship, marriage, a miscarriage, something to that regard. They even had to get the law involved, is what I'm seeing. But regardless, they overcome this. At least by the time they reach out to you, they will have overcome this, and they learn to re-love themselves through you. With the Devil here and the Ten of Cups, I do get the sense that maybe through this love, they learn to overcome their demons. They learn to overcome any bad habits that they have. Maybe they had a tendency to fall for the wrong people, or to give too much of themselves away, to give over their power to something else, whether that was something that they were overindulging in, addicted to. Maybe they turned a lot to certain substances to really help them through that difficult period in their life. But through this Ten of Cups, through the love that you provide for them and with them, they're able to let that go. They're able to release that sense of powerlessness that made them feel like they were a prisoner to this devil. Because I see your person as either of these people. And I could also read this as that your relationship may be slightly taboo, at least in the beginning. Like maybe you have families that don't like each other, or maybe you come from different backgrounds, and despite the fact that you kind of grew up together within the same group of friends or whatever, it's kind of jarring to see you two together. But regardless, there's a real true love here, and there's so much potential for this to be a very nurturing and fulfilling relationship. One that helps overcome a lot of demons of the past. I'm also seeing the stars here a lot. Maybe looking at the stars is something you like to do with your person. Or they may be into astrology. Because this was the first pile where the astro cards actually made a lot of sense. So maybe you two spoke about astrology a lot when you were younger, or one or the other kind of introduced them to that. So it's very interesting. That is all I have for the tarot. Let's move on to your advice cards to see what else. I also get the sense that your person may be maybe at a loss for words when they first see you. Maybe they have a hard time letting you know about certain things. Maybe they just have a hard time accepting the past and coming forward with what it is they have to tell you. So all I can tell you is have patience with your person. They will find their voice, especially if you're encouraging and really nurturing this love, this friendship, this companionship that you two will build at first, and it may flourish into something else. All right, I'm going to be using the Creative Love Oracle. Again, you didn't have to take this reading as a romantic reading, so I will give you the platonic meaning as well. But we have flexible. You may have someone in mind, but your spirit guides want you to know that there are better options for you. This card also pertains to release any unrealistic expectations on a relationship or a person. I feel like you really do have to come in with an open mind for this, because even though there's a lot of love, they may not be ready for it. That's what I'm getting from this card. And your person may be the same. It's like, yes, let's keep this open. We don't want to set anything in stone right away, because they may be still dealing with a lot of their past events that they relay to you. Because even though there's a lot of love here, you're coming into this very realistically. And also just releasing expectations, which something tells me you will. We have the Priestess of Light Oracle with Circle of Eternal Joy, Timelessness, Dance of Life. Yeah, I get that feeling with, this may be a past life connection, or this could be, there may be cycles in your connection where you see them and when you don't. Maybe you only see them during perhaps the holidays when everybody goes home and you're meeting with friends from, you know, your old town or something like that. So I am getting that. You may also like to dance together. And then one more card from the Moonology manifestation. Full moon in Capricorn, take a reality check. So that's the second card here that is having to do with reality. So I feel like you have to come in very realistically into this connection, pile 3. Because even though there's a lot of love, there just may be certain things that are not quite lined up for you to take just yet. If they're still dealing with like perhaps a separation from a partner, or maybe they recently suffered from something that they're still healing from, this may not be the time to really bring this union together, but you are definitely keeping each other in each other's hearts. I'm also noting the circles in these. I know that's the moon, and I know there's just a sense of you need to wait for that moment of completion. Timing is going to be very important in this connection, pile 3. But it's very loving and it's very endearing. And there's a lot of optimism here too. Like I wouldn't count them out just yet, but definitely still keep your options open. So that is all I have for you today, pile 3. Please let me know if any of this resonated. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you in the next reading. Bye. Hey there, pile 4. If you chose the moon and this shungite heart, by the way, this crystal moves a lot, so I don't know if that's something, if something about you and your person is moving a lot, or maybe your connection is in constant flux, but we have your reading here today about how it is your person has changed from the last time you saw them. And we're going to be doing this with, we're going to be checking their energy with oracles, but rather than person A, person B, we're going to be doing past energy and current energy of your person, current or future energy of your person, depending on the situation. But let's start with the connecting energies, which are going to be the astral card, astro codes, star codes, astro oracle cards. I think I've been mispronouncing them like this entire reading, so I am sorry, creators of this amazing deck, because I love this deck so much. But we're going to start with the moon here, perception. Somebody may be 19, and definitely a lot of moon. A lot of emotion, a lot of feelings in this relationship, in this connection. This does not have to be a romantic relationship. It can be platonic, but we'll see more as we take these cards out. We also have Vesta, the hearth. So a lot of homey energy. They may be a Cancer. You or your person may be a Cancer. I'm 32. The last time you may have seen them, they may have been around 19, and the next time you see them, they may be 32. So that's quite a gap there. Let's look at your person's past energy. We have hedonist. Light attributes: inspires creative energy to embrace the good things in life, celebrates the beauty in yourself. Shadow attributes: pursues pleasure to the detriment of health, indulges at the expenses of others. We have the return. A new story, you decide, alignment, it's coming together. That's very appropriate for this reading. And in the past, faith. Current energies, we have child, magical. Light attributes: seeing the potential for sacred beauty in all things, the belief that everything is possible. Shadow attributes: pessimism, depression, and disbelief in miracles, believing that energy and actions are not required for growth. Current energy, the sacred waters: nourishment, replenishment, health, rest, self-care, and caution. Very interesting. So this person has a very dreamy-like quality to them. I'm still getting major Cancer vibes, so they might have a lot of that in their chart. Their moon may be very heavily aspected, or your moons could be mutually aspecting each other. But let's look at the past energy. We have hedonist. This person used to overdo it a lot. whatever it is they did, whether it was party, whether it was food, whether it was maybe video games, I don't know why that's coming through. They used to really use it to escape, and they overdid it. Yeah, I'm getting big hermit energy for whatever reason with hedonist as well. I just get the feeling that whatever they did not know self-control. They did not know how to live a balanced life is what I'm getting. With faith in the return. They may have lacked faith, especially because we have the opposite here in this side. They may have lacked faith, or they may have had no faith in anything. Maybe this was part of their hedonistic tendencies, especially if they were somebody who shut themselves out. It's like they had no faith in anything, and that includes themselves. It's almost like they were very helpless. Very, they expected to always be in control. They thought if they couldn't make a path for themselves, that there was no way anything would advance or move on. With the return here, a new story, at some point they decided that they wanted to leave this behind, whatever it was. I'm getting, they were finally leaving their cave, if that resonates. Maybe they lived in their mom's basement or something, and they decided to leave for a time period and come back. With a new story, you decide, again, I'm just getting video game. Maybe this person overdid the video games. Maybe they just ignored you and they were, you know, on their computer all day playing this, refusing to see the beauty of faith in people. A new story, you decide, and at some point they were like, you know what, you're right, I need to go outside and I need to shift this because I am letting life pass me by and I don't want to stay in this forever. So that's their past energy. At some, and especially with Vesta being the hearth, I consider this a planet, or sorry, an asteroid. It's an asteroid, not a planet, of staying at home, keeping the fires at home going. I'm thinking of the Vestal virgins who were kept in, like people were not allowed to interact with them. They were not allowed to be seen. Their job was to keep the fire going. So that's why I'm getting that hermit energy from their past energy, at least. And this may still be true. I feel like we all have a little bit of hermit energy every now and then, because their current situation, magical. It's almost like they've embraced the beauty of life. It says child, but they're clearly not a child. But they do have childlike qualities in that they see the world through the eyes of beauty now. Much like the way a child does. They go outside and they just love everything. They're running around, they're playing, they're having fun. You know, they believe in fairies, so maybe they do believe in something now. They do believe in this otherworldliness, especially here with the sacred waters. I know it says nourishment and replenishment, and they're definitely being a lot more healthy now than they used to be. But I'm also seeing this as embracing. I'm getting a baptisms, like a born again Christian, but they don't necessarily have to be that. They could just be embracing the waters of life. I'm getting the beach as well. Maybe they love being near a beach, or they live near one, or just enjoy going to one, because there's also water here too. But essentially they've lightened up so much more than from what they used to be. They've become much more in tune with the universe. I don't want to say they're spiritual per se. I don't think they're quite there yet, but they've embraced the magic. With the caution card here, I get the feeling that they're living their life a lot more cautiously, but also that they're embracing life with a little bit more of sorry if you can hear that, my dog's having a snack over there, but they're going into life a lot more cautiously. It's almost like they don't want to fall back into their old ways. Sorry if you notice so many cuts. I'm taking care of the dogs and they go crazy every now and then. I guess it's lunchtime for them. But So yeah, your person may be treading into their life very cautiously to prevent from really returning to their hedonistic ways. Something tells me that whatever they used to do in their past, maybe this overindulgence in something, really had an effect on the relationship between you two. Like perhaps they were not giving you enough attention to really honor the relationship. Maybe maybe you were the one who wanted to bring faith into their life, into their relationship, and they just could not accept it for whatever reason. And because of this, you had to leave because they were no longer at that vibration that you could resonate with. So perhaps you leaving them, I really do feel like you're the one who left them and not the other way around, made them change for the better. Perhaps this caution is really just you trying to be more cautious with their return into your life. But yeah, that's all I'm getting from the oracles right now. Let's move on to the tarot to see what else your moon person, how they have changed. Though honestly, I feel like they've changed for the better. They're definitely more in control of their vices now. So we're going to look at your tarot now, and for this reading we have the Sun and Moon Tarot. How has pile 4 person changed? How has pile 4's person changed? That's hard to say. So we have the Queen of Cups, the Empress, the 8 of Cups in reverse, Ace of Pentacles, the Princess of Wands. To clarify, the Queen of Cups, we have Temperance, Queen of Pentacles, the Tower, 3 of Pentacles, and Strength. This is very interesting. So the Queen of Pentacles is you, pile 4. That, or I get the feeling this was you. You were a nurturing source to this person, and I guess they really regretted the way they treated you in the past by not being able to fully balance their life in order to make room for you in it. That you really had to force them to shift and change. They saw you as this person, this Queen of Pentacles. You probably brought a lot of emotional fulfillment into their life. I feel like the Empress, you were somebody they wanted to start a family with, the Queen of Pentacles. You were literally everything to this person. And I feel like even they had a hard time, either they had a hard time admitting it, or they had a hard time being able to handle this energy that you brought into their world. I really do get the feeling that you brought a lot more than they were willing to handle, pile 4. With the 8 of Cups, I see the 8 of Cups as you moving on from them. And I usually don't take reversals. Upright, it's moving on emotionally. But because it's reversed, I'm getting the feeling it's moving on and leaving the emotion behind. It's like you're aware of all of the love in this relationship, but you're moving on regardless, because it just was not, your person was not making time for you. They were not putting you first. They were not, something about their hedonism, of their overdoing. It could have been overspending. It could have been overindulging in video games. It could have been maybe just excessive partying, and maybe you like to party as well, but nowhere near as much as they did. I am getting a little bit of money though, because there are a lot of pentacle cards here. You leaving them felt like a tower moment. It was their tower moment. And I just do get this big sense of regret, because this could also be them walking away from this. And the decisions that they made, they don't realize that they were walking away from you, essentially. So this separation may have taken them by surprise. it's funny because I don't think you saw it as a surprise. You were probably giving off all the signals to begin with, but to them it just came out of nowhere. But the truth is, I think that they really reflected and realized that they were not doing enough for this unionship, for this relationship. Because I do feel like this is a relationship. I'm getting major breakup vibes here, major toxic boyfriend kind of feeling here. Take that if it resonates. You could also switch the genders around depending on what you identify as or what your person is. With the Ace of Pentacles and the Three of Pentacles, they really threw themselves into their work. They really, both in career and working on themselves. If finances were a big part of this, if they were a big deal, they've developed a new way of handling their finances. Because I do get the feeling, especially if they were very hedonistic, they probably spending a lot more than they should have. With the Three of Pentacles, working, it's just working, really looking for something that was going to provide them financially in order to be able to support you. I think like even after you left, they were still very much thinking about ways in which they could make money to support both of you so that they could get you back into their life. Because they definitely thought of you. You bring them so much strength. With the Princess of Wands here and the Strength card, I just feel like you brought them strength. You, in the Rider-Waite Tarot, it's a woman handling a lion as opposed to the wolf and the girl here. I feel like you were that woman who held on to the lion, and without you, they feel like this little wolf, and not sure who the child would be, maybe their inner child, but they feel like a lone wolf now, you know, howling for this butterfly. Maybe that's a remnant of you to come back into their life. But you're out here flourishing with this wand energy, with this confidence, with this new fire, with your tiger. You've traded your lion for a tiger. And actually, it's interesting, and this does kind of resonate more as the Strength card than this actual Strength card in this deck anyway. You're out here doing you, living your best life, and your person is just missing you terribly. So they will try to come back into your life, my dear pile 4. But just as the oracles said, do take caution, because they may have changed. I really do believe that they've changed, that they've embraced a new way of being. Maybe they've really regained a sense of optimism in their life, and I think time will just tell, and time will tell whether this unionship will work or not. But all I know is that you were everything to them, and maybe you still are if you're keeping in contact, because the Empress, the Queens, the Princess here, and they may have called you Princess or Queen. That could have been something they called you. I'm also hearing mi reina, which we say in Spanish, my queen. They were not giving you the attention you deserved, and they lost you, which I feel is very common sometimes. Like, it doesn't always have to be a terrible breakup where somebody does something seedy. It could just be the energy is not matching. You were definitely giving a lot more than your person was. But let's move on to the advice cards to see what else we can take from the change, the way they've changed. I'm using the Creative Love Oracle, which I love. And I am going to take this romantically just because this particular pile is hard not to take romantically. Spirit Guides, 1111. Your spirit guides are watching over your current love situation. Pay attention to repeating signs. This card also means that you are protected and it's safe for you to love. Oh, and I saw the bottom of the deck. I think you may want to see this as well. Accept love. Past letdowns and negative experiences are hindering you letting new love into your life. In order to experience love, you need to open your heart and embrace love. And that's very beautiful. We have the Moonology Manifestation deck. Oh. New Moon in Pisces, attuned to the divine. You may have Moon in Pisces, or your person could have Moon in Pisces. And again, with this attuning to divine, this is a very spiritual group, pile 4. You are definitely a very spiritual person. Whether your person is accepting of this or not, or more open to it or not, I feel like they have opened up to it. I really do feel like they've embraced it a lot more than they used to, if at all. And one more oracle card from the Priestess of Light. Bright heart light, open connections. I don't know. I really feel like this is a green light. Again, do approach cautiously, because I don't want to, I don't want to tell you, yes, this is, you can go ahead and go to your person and everything will be fine, because it all depends on your situation. This is a general reading. Just be aware of the signs, as this card says. I think I was trying to say about repeating signs like 1111, but also the signs that your person is giving off whenever you two do come together again. 18, I think the number was 17 for the beginning card. So maybe you reconnect at 18. Maybe you used to be 17, now you're 18. I don't know if that's long enough, but you know, we'll let you decide that, pile 4. But definitely stay connected at the heart. You to light, you stay connected to heart. And I would pay attention to your spirit guides if you work very closely with them, which is interesting because my next reading is going to be about spirit guides, oddly enough. You might want to wait around for that, or subscribe in order for you to be let known if they have anything to say. But if you work closely with your spirit guides, I would pay attention to them, because they probably have a lot to say about this relationship, especially if you're still very unsure. Because even though there's a lot of positive cards here, you ultimately have to listen to your heart and to your gut and to your intuition. But this is where I leave you, pile 4. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. And if you feel like doing so, you can like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next reading. Bye.